Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to take you on a wild ride through one of my experiences during an International Air Force exercise at a Spanish airbase. Now, if you've seen my previous story, the Great Car Registration War, you know that things can get a little interesting when you mix different military cultures. But this time, it was all about jet fuel and a wake-up call that no one saw coming. So, let's set the scene. Picture this. It's an International Air Force exercise, and our team has deployed around 20 fighter jets and about 200 personnel to a Spanish airbase. It's a big deal. Lots of planning goes into this. 6 months before the event, we sent a small delegation to conduct a site survey. We covered everything from where our aircraft would be parked to emergency procedures. But one thing stood out: the refueling and defueling protocols. You see, after a flight, jets need to be refueled immediately because, believe it or not, fully fueled aircraft are actually safer than those with nearly empty tanks full of combustible vapors. But sometimes things go wrong. If a fault is discovered, like a damaged fuel line, you need to defuel the aircraft. During our site survey, it was smooth sailing. We were told that if we ever needed to defuel, just let them know, and a specialized fuel truck would come to our rescue. Fast forward to the exercise. We had been flying successful missions for days, and everything was going great until one of our jets reported an electrical fault in an external fuel tank. Now, this wasn't a huge deal. We thought we could handle it. Usually, you defuel the tank, replace it, and you're good to go. A quick 20 to 30 minute job. But when we requested the defueling truck, things took a turn. Suddenly, we were told that before we could do anything, a specialist would need to take a fuel sample from the aircraft, and then they'd send it to a laboratory. Wait for the results, which could take days. Can you imagine the frustration? Losing a jet for days was not an option. We needed those pilots in the air. So we argued our case, but every reasonable compromise was flatly rejected. Then the liaison officer threw out a snarky remark: "Then just burn the fuel if it's that important." And you know what? We didn't need to be told twice. The next morning, at 5:30 a.m., while the rest of the base was still snoozing away, we were wide awake with a plan. The official exercise schedule wouldn't kick off until 10, so we had a few hours to work with. The airfield was eerily quiet, a light haze hung over everything, and the morning dew glimmered on the jets. It was peaceful, until 2 jet engines roared to life. With all the thrust we could muster, we held the brakes tight. The asphalt beneath us dried almost instantly, and dust and debris erupted into the air, swirling around and shooting straight into an open Spanish Air Force shelter. It was chaos, but in a good way. In just about 25 minutes, we burned through 1,700 kilograms of jet fuel. The external tank was replaced, and by 7 a.m., we could proudly report that the aircraft was mission-capable again. But wait. It didn't end there. Later that morning, our commanding officer received an unexpected invitation to meet with the Spanish base commander. You can guess why. Who woke up the base at the crack of dawn? Yeah, that was us. Meanwhile, Spanish personnel were busy sweeping up all the dirt and debris we had blasted into their shelter. Once we explained the situation, the atmosphere shifted. The Spanish commander, surprisingly understanding, agreed to let us use the defueling truck without the prior sampling. But here's the kicker. The liaison officer who suggested we just burn the fuel, let's just say he was later spotted in a very lengthy meeting with the base commander. And from what I heard, you could probably hear the commander's frustration all the way to the runway. So there you have it. Sometimes the best way to handle a frustrating situation is to take matters into your own hands, literally. Have you ever found yourself in a similar situation where you had to think outside the box? Let me know in the comments below.